Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn as the... let's see, which side I call this? Middle and north side? As the red fire adder, we got mooji6. Spawn's other middle side. As the purple lightning adder, we got Achesst. While still butchering both their names quite well. This replay was submitted to me. I will announce who submitted the replay and the start of the replay, due to the fact that most time people submit replays they usually win. Though I always try to give credit to players who submit in replays where they lose, because let's be frank, most time, you more brag about your wins than brag about your loses. If you can brag about a loss, more to you. This map is a little bit weird. You can see that player 1 starts 2 infantry, player 2 starts with 4 infantry, all on top of the bases, all unweighted. This is a lab map, 2 labs on each side. It's also weird where it's south, middle, north, other south. And I have no idea what's going to be a strong or weak side. To me, it looks like the 2 bases would probably be the stronger side, since it's easier to coordinate. To focus one side, the other side can easily project left or rightwards, while the singulars will have to, if he's projecting to fight one side, then it would be harder to defend with one base run with 2 bases. But there is a decent number of mountains here for defense, while over here is pretty wide open, but very up to the side as well, so reinforcements has a bit different. So it's likely to be the strong defense, weak defense, if that makes any horrible sense. But it also means a weak defense is probably not going to be focused as well, because it's simply off the beaten path. In fact, there's also no paths here, no roads. Either way, guess we'll find out soon enough. There's also a pair of airports and comm towers as well. So, let's get started. Of course, as an outer mirror, I usually avoid mirror matchups, but if somebody submits me a mirror matchup, I'm more willing to cast it, because usually it's probably a good replay. I always find mirror matches more likely to be on the boring side, because they both have the same things. Whoever edges ever so slightly better, rather than the asymmetrical. I sort of like more asymmetrical designs. But there's of course good and bad asymmetrical designs, and since I'm mod maker for computers too, I know about bad asymmetrical design as well as good asymmetrical design, to say the least. In Advanced Wars, the day-to-day is probably the most important effect when it comes to asymmetrical. Generally seems like not necessarily the strengths of each player's day-to-day is the more important part. It always feels like the weaker what it gets nerfed as their day-to-day is actually the more important part. Excuse me, in more important part. You have an early recon up north. This is 4 bases, so quite a bit of money has to go into the infantry, so the airport's going to be a little bit more difficult to get used out of, though it is going to be supporting the strong defense side, which could of course be very helpful there. So anti-airs are being aggressive over on this side would make some good sense. Recon instructing some infantry. Right now 16 versus 13, player 2 has the advantage. Player 2 also has a comm tower, and now player 1 has his comm tower. Finish off that wooden infantry unit there. Decides not to try to go for, it was right there, so it could have gone for interrupt there. The music swap is driving insane. Let me try fixing that. Let's see. Restart. Let's see if I can do it like that, and hopefully helps fix that. I'll probably turn that on. Just give me a moment. Restart themes and turn. Alternate themes, seal intros, loop and seal, automatic play. There was just one for mirror matchups, right? Seamless loop and mirror matchups. There we go. It says I don't usually cast mirror matchups. That's something I didn't have on, so maybe that'll help fix it out. Yep. There is actually a nice setting for this music player to allow a singular soundtrack to be played across mirror matchups to help out. So, let's see if this helps you out. Anti-air moving around, got a pair of tanks up here. We have a tank here, anti-air meant to pursue the airport. Anti-air heading up north. Anti-air, of course, is a counter the recon, though again, most things are counter the recons. Recons only really counter infantry, and sometimes mechs, but not really. Looks like red does get surrounded, at least from this side. This infantry unit can still escape on there. Multiple tanks heading down south of winter. Adder could... got line tanks here. Adder could counter out with a line of tanks. Just chain of tanks to counter the chain of tanks. Does, of course, get more interrupt there. 10 capture progress remaining, so be 4 more turns for a full capture. Does get an infantry unit there. Recon does escape. Very nice. Intercepts a 1 health infantry unit there. Tank strikes tank from the city there, so not only gets repaired on up, it at least has 3 defense stars with counterattack, and with only 1 health remaining, it effectively has rather 30% defense. It will have effectively 27% defense, which is more than plenty, honestly. Plus, his opponent will have attack from open road, which is 0. Another chain of tank there, so it could be a chain of tanks from both sides. Seemed like mech strikes infantry. There is no river there for the mech to strike the anti-air. Now the anti-air could strike the mech there. Adder may need to plow another mech to ward away the anti-air. Oh, we got an early power. So, Magenta's gone for early power. Let's explore for the +10/+10 global if I hazard a guess. That one probably was actually needed for extra space. And he will get interrupted there, yep, so there he is making use of his mobility, like that there, sprinting across the mountain. Not easy to feed the sprint up and down a mountain. Let's be frank, sprinting down the mountain is actually pretty difficult as well, because you tend to just fall down. And he's going to try to go flip. The tank will have to hit the infantry unit there, so 2 infantry unit may get the interrupt, but 2 infantry unit may have trouble. Let's see how easy a 2 infantry unit can interrupt a capture. With the power, not even with a power, I think he can interrupt. Wait, the 2 infantry unit can take out the 1 health infantry unit. I'm an idiot. Now the tank can counter the infantry unit. Good hit there. He does go for another mech there to hit the anti-air, so ward away the anti-air. Though the infantry unit still get a good strike there. And he's not going with his power. Tank does interrupt the capture of the airport, takes out half his health, but the good chance he will be hit pretty hard there. I mentioned there's 2 tanks here. He needs to get a first strike on one of these tanks. He could take time to finish off that 4 health tank. That's a good idea to probably go for a first strike there. His argument made to go for a medium tank, though I don't know if he could afford that. Add 7,000 there, go back 1 action, another action. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong player's income. He could go for a medium tank here to stabilize that region. Does get a good hit there. Infantry units are capturing those points. Tank strikes tank. Tank strikes infantry unit there. He does join capture as well, so it looks like he will get the capture there. He will need more than a full health tank to interrupt that capture. Mech takes time to interrupt the capture. Mech goes and gets another shot off there. So Magenta's actually eyeing to cross the rivers and mountains with mechs, which is actually feasible with Adder because of the side slip and sidewinder. So somehow Adder can make mech play usable going down south. Double tank, tank infantry, and tank over here, so triple tanks. It's at 21,000 income. Alright, 19,000 income. Gets the mech there as well, and no chain of mechs to continue across the mountain path. Tanks will strike tank. Do have now a superpower for Adder. Maybe we gotta just go for the regular power for most situations. Honestly, needs a +2 move range. It's better to go for the power. Not to mention he has enough power charge left over to get another power. Another tank there. And does flip the airport. There is anti-air nearby, but also got some tanks. At least we'll deny the use of the airport. I don't think Adder would be able to use the airport. And we got another side slip by Purple Lightning. Strikes the infantry unit there. And finish off there. Tank goes up north, strikes tank. And try to flip there. Tank heads down south, strikes tank. Tank makes its way over to the left. Wounded tank falls back. Healthy tank advances. Another tank there. Wounded mech falls back. Infantry. Tank and infantry. It's the infantry unit there and there. Will we see Adder's superpower? Just go for the regular power. I think that's a good idea. Just need a +10/+10. Sprints to hit that infantry unit there. Tank does strike tank. Tank will strike infantry unit there. And we'll finish off. 8 years in range of the airport, so should be safe enough. Does go for medium tank to stabilize the region. And I just realized something as well. Adder has, of course, captured this lab, which leaves Red only one lab. Oh no, Red has claimed both essential labs. Okay, so they both still have 2 labs, just different locations. Tank does strike tank. Tank heads up north, hits tank. Of course, got the medium tank. Tries machine gun it. Does not finish it off there. Does hit that tank there. Mech heads to the city. And Adder's just swarming tanks up north. Anti-air strikes anti-air. Suppose an equal fight. It was equally not great. But just okay. Medium tank down south as well. Infantry. Adder's, of course, medium tank is here. Can probably strike the 8 health tank. Let's see. He can strike also the 8 health tank. He does have a power, so we activate that for additional firepower, so choose. Does not try to charge forward to this full health tank there with his power. Blocks the airport with 2 health tank. That's just a good way to be annoying. Tank will strike tank. Anti-air will head down south as well. Anti-air will strike the infantry unit there and loses this 1 health tank there. Goes for another medium tank. Infantry. Right now, Red has 20,000 funds. Purple Lightning has 21. There's still 1 despicable neutral property there, which Red could pop the power to get to it. Oh yeah, Purple Lightning's a French, and Red Fire? Yeah, Red Fire is also the English, so it's the English versus the French. How quite apt. And we do have another power there. That's the 3rd power by Adder. Adder's only down for 1 power so far this game. Medium tank will strike regular tank, 1-shots it. Tank will strike tank, and we'll finish off tank there. Adder has superpower, goes for a battle copper since he is lacking anti-air. Good idea. He does have 2 medium tanks, which can knock out a couple of these tanks there, but this base could be, if anti-air does get pulled out there, could be threatened. Overall, feels like Purple Lightning's in a great position. He has 68,000 or 86,000 in the field versus 62. Of course, day-to-day funds putting up to 85, so they're still pretty even. They're neck and neck. Remember as well, player 2, you have to add this. Player 1, you don't add that day-to-day funds. Does double tap the infantry unit there. Tank will strike anti-air. Anti-air will strike anti-air. 2 off tank does not strike anti-air, and when he uses the meat shield, so it looks like Adder will start cleaning everything down south and making some good headway with his medium tanks. He does need this medium tank here, which this tank is still range no problem. Anti-air, and multiple of these properties being flipped there. Adder does go and capture some properties. Oh, there's still 2 despicable neutrals there. Medium tank takes out the anti-air. And looks like Adder will manage to claim this airport. There's another anti-air there to ward away anything from that airport. Infantry. Battlecopter does strike medium tank. And it does strike medium tank. Does strike medium tank. It does strike medium tank. I don't know if that's worth it. That's a lot of tanks thrown into that thing. That was one of those things, what else are you supposed to do? We have now got the first artillery on the map. Usually we see at least 1 or 2 artillery by now. And does use the medium tank to occupy the airport. Does manage to machine gun down the anti-air. Tank, infantry, tank, and regular tank. Medium tank strikes tank there. We likely will see a battlecopter here shortly. To about anti-air, maybe not. I think with enough bodies, I think we're gonna make a medium tank run out of ammo. He threw a lot of tanks, so it still has 3 ammo remaining. And it looks like your comment didn't pop up. Oh wait, did I forget to do something? There we go. That tends to fix that issue. And that's why my YouTube stream up on my other screen, just so my chat window, combined chat window, messes up like that. YouTube seems pretty unreliable when it comes to that chat window software I use. The reason why I use this chat window software is because it also does support Rumble. Or has a workaround for Rumble, since Rumble does not have an open API. Tank will head down south to strike tank. The medium tank could push forward as well. Leave the airport exposed, so if he does leave the airport exposed, gotta apply in here. The nice thing as well, if this tank gets slightly wounded, he could merge the 2 medium tanks together and say this medium tank's at 9 health. Merge a 3 health medium tank into it. He will get decent refund there. 30% of 1600 or 16,000 is roughly 3,000. My offhand map's not doing all great. It'd be 4,800 if my offhand math is incorrect. Either way, do now have a battlecopter here. It's a little bit risky because it's 2 anti-airs in the region. And both players now have the superpower. And we got a full Sidewinder by Adder. Does he need the extra 2 movement space? To sprint towards the comm tower? Yes. And body blocks as well. He puts it right there because it leaves only 1 opening from the side. So purple is playing play with the comm tower. Excellent. Medium tank strikes regular tank. Good fights up there. 3rd anti-air. That may be a little bit overkill, but then again, he's finding this good enough infantry in a battlecopter, so that is an adequate counter. Honestly, he could skimp out and go on for a recon here. Infantry, tank, infantry. Amber Orange's turn. Not Amber Orange. Red Fire's turn. And now got another side slip. Body completely surrounds the medium tank, at least from this side. But should be able to broken out. I think the anti-air should be able to take out the infantry on top of the forest, but there's a pile of infantry there. Because if he's able to break through that, then the anti-air could hit the battlecopter and knock it out as well. Another battlecopter, tank, infantry. Of course, purple does not have a power to activate this turn, so he went for a full Sidewinder. But, alternative to plus 10% firepower, he of course gets a comm tower. So, purple has 2 comm towers. I'm surprised purple didn't try going for another medium tank down the bottom pushback. Possibly? I mean, yeah, there's now 2 tanks in a battlecopter. That is another possibility. Magenta's also, or Purple's already claimed 2 properties down there. Of course, multiple tanks nearby, as well as his own infantry. He decides not to try to go for that infantry unit there. Goes there a 3rd anti-air. Anti-airs are okay versus tanks. Got a medium tank on top of this airport still, and does range some of the medium tank's flanks with the artillery. Of course, medium tank can just go take a shot from the city. Probably best if that tank gets on top of the airport, or he needs to put anti-air there. Medium tank gets hut there. Tank does get some good shots on the anti-airs. Purple lightning has the power. Fire. Red fire does also have the power, almost superpower. I don't know why. I have trouble saying the word red fire. I don't know why. Recon, infantry, anti-air, battlecopter, and infantry. Does pop the power there. Let's see how well it does. He did go with anti-air here, so he has something to range the airport. Infantry hits infantry. Medium tank hits or tank. Hits infantry there and pulls back there. Yeah, I can see right now medium tank would be quite nice. At least a regular tank at minimum. Does pull back. Artillery's in good position. Right now, purple has 25,000 income. Fire red. Red fire. Fire red. Now I'm getting all mixed up. I'm trying not to say fire red. Fire. Red fire. Is it? Okay. Red fire. God damn it. Why am I having trouble saying that? He pops a side slip. Fire red's a Pokemon, isn't it? And looks like it's going to forfeit the lab and another property there. So Purple Lightning's getting ever so better position. He did go for another medium tank down south. And if she does strike the medium tank, and it's probably close to 1%. Pokemon Fire Red, that's got to be it. Does use the Battlecopter to take out a potentially 1% medium tank. I understand trying to finish it off. I think it would have been fine to leave it alone. Famous last words. But Red Fire, the Brits are all over down south. Infantry, infantry, tank, infantry. Got 6,000 funds in the bank. Ends the turn of 106,000, so fire, red fire. Adder has 106,000 versus Adder has 75,000. So, player 2 has plenty of income advantage. But of course, Purple Lightning does have more income. And of course, 2 comm towers is quite significant. Plus, rooms of firepower is massive. Not to mention the income disparity is 6,000 as well, which does start adding up. There's no more despicable neutral properties. Another medium tank there. He does pull back his interior. Could be struck by a 6 health tank, but at least he'll be able to protect it against 1 battlecopter. Maybe Red Fire should go for Bomber now. I think there's an argument made for a Bomber, a proxy Bomber right there. And strike the ATR with a tank, maybe even with a Battlecopter as well, if possible. He can pop a power to help out with that as well. Because he could deploy a Bomber here and start and really crack this area wide open. Of course, that effectively means he have no deployment here, because that'll be 4,000 funds remaining, so all his remaining bases will go for infantry. Even if he does go for a recon up here, that won't really be too great. Maybe a Neo Tank? No, Neo Tanks are not super resilient. like I said, I think a bomber could be quite nice, but I also more look as I'm also thinking is like, then the bomber, then this area will completely collapse without a super deployment. And he has a strong position here. He can't go for an incredibly strong position in order to sacrifice Sophia. Sacrificing this would be a horrible idea. Let's go another medium tank. I think another medium tank is a good call. Infantry, tank, infantry. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably best not go for a bomber. It would sacrifice too much up here. Anti-air does strike battlecopter. Medium tank attacks a battlecopter, which is not great, but he is surrounded, at least from this side. Medium tank will strike medium tank. Because right now purple has a great position up here. Red may pop a power. Ooh, he just flipped 3 properties this turn. I was not paying close enough attention to that. Now the income's evened out. So long as Fred Pyre holds the airports, he can maintain top left. Oh. At least occupy this one. This one's, of course, captured by Purple Lightning. But I have a feeling it feels, even though the units are still, unit value on the map is even, and so since it's player 2, he does have advantage. I have a feeling that he's going to become a funeral pyre relatively soon. Medium tank does get a couple good strikes here. Anti-air is in the region. Decides to occupy the airport itself. I suppose it's doing its job at being an anti-air, because of course it denies the air unit's existence. Battlecopter strikes the medium tank. Tank strikes anti-air. Now the battlecopter's free reign. Now, probably a good idea to go for another battlecopter here. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, recon. I think he's trying to squeeze out something up here. Recon at least can be decent versus the artillery. And of course the infantry. And using a tank to strike it may be a bit overkill, which could be good for red. A couple good kills down south. Neo tank now deployed in the field. Infantry. Good kills there. And looks like red could make a play for the Contar. Looks like he is. Triple taps his tank, also base locks there, so looks like Purple Lightning has completely disintegrated down south. And red has the income advantage now. And oh, he has also recaptured the top left one, so now the Contar's even, so it feels like red is starting to pull back. He was ahead in value, but behind him some multiple aspects. It's been a pretty close call game, but it feels like actually red is actually pulling ahead quite significantly there. Has 132 versus 95. Another possible power by Purple Lightning. But of course he does have a Neo tank. Goes for the full Sidewinder. Neo tank goes straight for the infantry unit. Not a great target for there. And notice he's going to surround the tank completely, at least from this side. Allowing the Neo tank punch to take it out. Wait. Lab. That's a lab capture victory. He's deleting his units. And red resigns. He did a BM delete and red knew he lost. I was not expecting a lab victory. It was neck and dead, but excellent play there by purple. The person did submit in the replay was Achesst, so thank you for submitting it, and on to the next replay.